Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to have many different connections, not just to the original trilogy, but also the prequel trilogy and other connections to the Star Wars canon universe that falls under both Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So what's really great about Episode 9 is that this film really is going to explain a lot of elements of the past, which may be a good or a bad thing for some Star Wars fans out there, and that's perfectly fine and okay and all. I know that there's a lot of people that have mixed reactions on flashbacks and backstories being used in this movie. After all, the editor Marianne has said before, I believe it was on a show called From Script to Screen, where she was basically explaining that this movie is a big movie, giving us a little hint that it's going to be the longest Star Wars film in the franchise's history. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very intense for the characters of Darth Vader and Supreme Leader Snoke. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing about all of this is that it's described that one of the scenes that were filmed during the month of November included a sequence that is part of the storytelling of the origins of the First Order for the second act of the film. It's described to have taken place inside of a tall structure that was dubbed as the Dark Temple. Two unnamed actors were described to be dressed as both Darth Vader and a younger version of Supreme Leader Snoke in a discussion about Darth Sidious. It's said to be a brief scene between both Vader and Snoke where Vader was planning something against Palpatine. It's said that this is set to kickstart the story of Sidious as well as the origins of the First Order while explaining parts of Snoke's backstory. Darth Vader's suit was described to appear very similar to how it did for the Rogue One: A Star Wars Story reshoots, whereas Snoke was described to be dressed in these black robes, wearing a unique piece of headgear. The sequence is said to be very dark, where they are both standing in front of the opening of the Dark Temple that shows a wide shot of a planet with constant lightning storms in the background. So let's go over a couple of parts about this, because this is something that really interests me the most about Star Wars Episode 9 is Snoke's backstory, his connections to some of the legacy characters, such as Darth Vader, and exactly where that's going to go in this movie. Now, the thing about this is that this is something that really does raise the bar by director J.J. Abrams. In case you guys did not know, Abrams has said before in the past that he is going to do a lot of things with this movie that are really going to set the film apart from the past two films, such as The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, and this honestly would really be at the top of the list. Having a flashback where we have both Vader and Snoke in a very brief scene with each other where they're discussing about a plot against Emperor Palpatine. Now, this is said to be a part of the origins of the First Order, which was confirmed by Vanity Fair a couple of weeks ago, where they had that exclusive about Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker and what's going to be inserted into the film, and what J.J. Abrams allowed them to talk about. And one of the big ones was, of course, the origins of the First Order being demonstrated in Episode 9. So what's really exciting about this is that these are two unnamed actors portraying the roles of Darth Vader and a younger version of Supreme Leader Snoke. The thing that really intrigues me the most here is Snoke's new outfit. It's described to be these black robes where Snoke is wearing a piece of headgear. Now, this headgear, it could be a helmet, it could be some kind of different mask that we have never seen before on the big screen. I'm not quite sure exactly what this headgear really is. But Snoke is wearing something on his head and or his face to make him appear different and obscure in Star Wars Episode 9. And what I like about this is that this most certainly is going to be something that we have never seen before on the big screen. Now, additionally, on top of all of this, it's also described that some of these elements will also be explained in the upcoming Snoke comic line that is all set and ready to drop this November of 2019. So in case you guys are currently unaware, we will be learning a little bit more about Snoke and his backstory in an upcoming comic that is ready to drop during the month of November, in a strange way, because that's just 1 month before the release of The Rise of Skywalker. So in that comic, they will be hinting and teasing as to what's to come in Star Wars Episode 9 through that upcoming comic. Now, the thing here is this, alright? We do know that Snoke explained to Kylo Ren that he has seen the rise and the fall of the Galactic Empire. And if he has seen the rise and the fall of the Galactic Empire, surely he has had some interactions with Darth Vader. And this truly is a surprise. This is something something that I would have never expected, where Snoke would have even met Snoke, or should I say Snoke would have even met Darth Vader, where you have this sequence where they're inside of the Dark Temple. It's said to take place on a world that has constant lightning storms. What world is this, and exactly where are we? Could this very well be a place in the unknown regions, or maybe a place over in the Outer Rim? Could this also quite possibly be the Beyond? You know, the possibilities really are endless as to where Vader and Snoke really are, where Vader is discussing a certain plot against Sidious, and I think it would be quite, possible that this is a location in which Darth Vader chose to talk to Snoke privately, where he can't be sensed, and that's exactly why it's a planet full of lightning storms all the time, to interrupt the dark side energy. After all, Snoke, that's how he hid away in the unknown regions, was of course by using the stars through the solar radiation to hide his actual location. Anyways guys, drop a comment below, let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.